say that, look, it happened, and they give you a series of examples. I think I'm one of those examples for some of the people who have taught me, because I actually did get inspired and ultimately lead a life of wonder from rooms like this. And in fact, this very room, I was a student in this very room. I went to Kansas State before I was a professor there. And I sat in about the 11th row, clear to the right, and I was sitting there memorizing all of the information for the exam like anybody else. It was Intro to Anthropology. And the difference for me was that while I was playing the game, memorizing all this information, one of the things I realized was all this information that I was memorizing was adding up to a series of questions that were breaking down myself, what I thought I was. So, like I said earlier, I had all these ideas, ideals, beliefs, values, and a body of knowledge that made up who I was. And these facts that were being thrown out at me were essentially undermining everything I thought I knew, because they were basically saying, this is how other people believe, this is how other people's ideas, ideals, and so on. That's what anthropology is all about. And I started wondering what makes my ideas, ideals, beliefs, values, and so on any more valid than theirs. And it set me on a lifelong quest to figure out how different can humans be, how are we the same, how are we all connected. Those became like the burning questions in my soul. And I just want to show you how deep these questions can burn. So for me, it meant that I had to go to New Guinea. I had to go as far away as possible. I had to experience the world in a space as different as possible from where I grew up. And where I grew up was, I grew up in Nebraska, a small town in Nebraska. And I just wanted to go as far away as possible and see the world. So I ended up in a city in New Guinea, Port Moresby. So I flew in, and I'm all excited. I'm sitting there in my hotel room. I take this picture of this. This is the first picture I took, and actually the only picture I took in Port Moresby. There's the picture of the palm tree, which was really exciting to me as a kid from Nebraska. And then that day, I decided what I was going to do is just walk around the city, meet all these people, and just open myself up to them, and hopefully they would open themselves up to me, and I would learn all this stuff, and I would get a sense for what it's like to live in such a different place. And so I put my backpack on that morning, and I walked out the front gate, and these two guys are walking towards me, and they say, hey, morning. And so just a quick tutorial. They speak pidgin English there, and when they say, hey, morning, that can mean good morning, like, hey, good morning. Or it can mean, give me your money. So I'm thinking they must have said morning. It's slightly different in words, like good morning is morning, and money is morning. Yeah. So it's a slight difference. And I thought, surely they're saying good morning, so I said, oh, morning, morning, and just kind of smiled and, just going to walk past them, and they say, oh God, morning, morning. And so now I get it, right? They're asking for my money, I understand. But I decided I'm going to sort of play this off, and maybe just by being like an ignorant, happy tourist, they'll just let me go. So I say, oh, morning, morning, and just try to slide past. And now at this point, they start tapping their pockets, and they say, oh God, morning, morning, and they tap their pockets. So I decide, okay, now I'm just going to try to be silly. I had this plan brewing for quite some time. I thought, if I ever did get somebody trying to do anything like this to me, I thought I could just be like a clown, they'd think I'm crazy, they might laugh a little bit, and let me go. So I decided to pretend they were teaching me a greeting, and I said, oh, morning, morning. And they didn't think it was funny at all. And at this point, they sort of stepped in front of me because I'm just trying to slide past. And one of them pulls his jacket back, and he has a machete in there, it's like 2 feet long. He pulls this out, and I turn and put my back to them with my backpack, thinking if they slash at me, they'll just get my backpack, and I just start running. And I get around this corner, and there's this group of people there, and they turned out to be the wonderful people that I thought I would meet, and they chased off these guys, and I was fine. I walked straight to the airport. And so there I am at the airport, and I'm looking up at the big board, of the flights, and it's like Sydney, Brisbane, and then all these places I'd never heard